Bring in Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano. He is with the Heritage Foundation. He's the Vice President for the National Security and Foreign Policy there. Thank you very much for talking to us. Did North Korea back down from its threat, and what was the purpose of this whole Christmas gift?
Yeah, well, we don't know. And it's always a mistake to try to guess what the North Koreans are thinking or what they might do, because it's such an opaque regime. We're not very good at that. But here's what I think the administration did right. They sent Steve Biegun, who's now the Deputy Secretary of State, over to Asia. And what he said was very, very clear. He says, look, if you resume long-range testing or nuclear testing, some kind of really provocative act like that, here's what we're going to do. Essentially, we would double down on the sanctions that are already there. And essentially, North Korea would be worse off than when they started. So he sent a very stern message. He says, come back to the table and talk, because you're going to gain nothing from more bullying. I thought that was exactly right.
Sorry,
yeah,
keep going.
We don't know exactly what impact it had on the Koreans, because we don't know what the North Koreans are actually going to do. But the U.S. did the right thing.
Okay, so the U.S., need I remind everyone, has 400 nuke missiles in silos in Wyoming,
right.
silos in Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. They've got bombers and ballistic missile submarines as well. 3 methods to launch nuclear weapons, and the list goes on. North Korea knows this. So when they make these threats that seem to be more talk than action, one has to wonder, what kind of message is Kim Jong-un trying to send to President Trump, whom he has had these friendly encounters with?
Yeah, so what we have seen, and this goes way back before impeachment, is the North Koreans really continuing to test to the U.S. to see if the U.S. is really serious about a negotiating position. Essentially, the U.S. position is, look, we have to have a whole deal on the table. So it has to end with denuclearization and then normalization with North Korea. Now, we might do it in phases, but you've got to put the whole deal on there. And the North Koreans have constantly pushed back, really for over a year now, to see, is that really serious? They thought, well, it's just Bolton. When Bolton's gone, then the Americans will cave. Well, that didn't happen. And then they thought, well, maybe Trump's worried about getting reelected, and that didn't happen. So they're still in the same. But one of the things we have to think about is, maybe North Korea would do a deal with Trump.
Okay.
But they want to make sure he gets reelected first.
All right. Meanwhile, China. I got to talk China, Iran, and Russia with you, because they are reportedly set to hold a joint naval drill starting tomorrow in the Indian Ocean. And this move is expected to deepen cooperation between the nations. It also comes, though, at a time of heightened tension between Tehran and the United States. So my question to you is, should the United States be worried?
Not really. I mean, those 3 navies don't really have the capacity to do anything serious together. It's just more kind of
Does the U.S.
posturing.
respond?
No, I don't think so. I really don't think it's significant. They're allies of a kind, but they really can't do much to help each other. It's always been the problem with these countries, is their interests are different, their capabilities are different, and they can't really gang up on the United States.
Okay. All right. Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano, thank you very much for talking to us. Happy holidays.
Thanks for having me.